This place is a real mess. Last night I stayed late at the office so I can shoot a couple of things, and this is why it's such a mess. Check it out. The lights are still here, camera is still there, lights are everywhere. This is my little trick when it comes to harsh lights. When I shoot a podcast facing the camera, I like to have a light directly on my face, but it's way too harsh using the Gorax light. So I put a diffuser right here. I hold it with a phone holder. Oh, my phone's there. It gives a way softer light on my face, doesn't look so harsh, and the white balance is pretty good. I always come to the studio before I go to my store, and I'm lucky to have my studio right above my first store. So before I go to the store, I head here just so I can plan my day, make sure that I don't miss anything. So I pull out my iPad and I make sure that I work on my priorities first and then the rest later. The to-do list is done. To-do lists are super important for me. This is the way I keep on track and I make sure that I do all the tasks that I need to do today. And also doing it in the morning, I'm fresh, my brain is fresh, I just had a coffee. So I think better, I have less of a foggy memory, and I'm able to tackle all the things that I have to do. So here's my list for today. Now let's get to work. So I'm now at the back store of my second store. The way I proceed is that all my machineries, all the dry cleaning machine and the washing machine and all that stuff is in my first store. And then I open some counters that we call, it's pretty much rent of a space where I put a counter and I call it a dry cleaner, but that's not where the clothes are getting cleaned. Now, most people don't even know that it's not clean there, and they don't need to know. But of course, if people ask, we say the truth. Today, I wanted to tell you this story of when a mobster came to see me so I can launder money for him. It's a very interesting story, but first I gotta do something. The weather is getting better and better. Honestly, it's like 4 degrees today. I'm really happy because summer is coming. Summer in Montreal is really beautiful. Now my baby, she needs a little bit of loving. Time for a car wash. What are you doing here? I'm gonna get you out of the dryer and then I'll tell you the story. Come on. There you go. So 3 years ago, I received a call from this guy and he tells me he wants to invest in my company. He sees all the stuff I do on social media. So I get excited, right? He says, I want to come see your operation. I want to come meet you live face to face. And I said, of course, absolutely. So we set a date and time. So the guy comes in and he's super nice, super friendly. And then I ask him, what type of investment is he thinking about? So he said, you know what? Give me a week. Let me do a bit of research and I'll get back to you. A week passed by, nothing. 2 weeks, nothing. And I'm like, you know what? It's not meant to be. It is what it is. After the 3rd week, he shows up with another guy. They say, hey, we want to buy you coffee. Let's go to the coffee shop next door and we'll discuss. I'm like, okay, cool. Honestly, my gut feeling was telling me nothing. These guys really seemed like genuine, nice guys. They were wearing nice shirts, nice suits. But I should have caught on when I saw the watches and the cars. But even that, people that invest in companies usually are wealthy. They have money. So I didn't think anything of it. So they start a little presentation. They show me papers and they show me that they want to put 100 grand into the company to help me out with very, very low interest, which was already a red flag for me. When you get money from private places, usually the interest rates are a minimum at 19%. This guy was offering me like 3% for that. And then they go on saying that they will inject 30 grand every month into my company in order for me to flourish, and I won't have to pay anything. Their accountant is going to take care of everything. And that's when things got really, really weird. So I replied to them the only way I know how to reply. It's very honestly and kind of naive. I said, that's amazing, but I'll like my accountant to take a look at all that before I sign anything or do anything. They really insisted, and that was the 3rd red flag, and a big one. They kept telling me, your accountant doesn't know what he's doing. They saw his name, they kind of Googled him, and they're like, this guy sucks. My guy is going to take care of everything. Don't worry. And on top of that, the 30 grand we're going to inject in your company, you can take out $10,000 every month out of the account without it being taxable or anything like that. That's when it hit me. In the dry cleaning business back in the 80s and the 90s, it was really big for mobsters or mafia people to go into dry cleaners or even to open their own dry cleaners for cash flow, to clean their dirty money with legal money, because there's a lot of cash flow in the dry cleaning. So they'll mix everything up and they'll legalize their dirty money. So I had to get out of there as soon as possible, because at that point they had my name, my address, my business name. They even did some deep research. They knew briefly how much money we were making. It was honestly the scariest time of my life. So I had to get out of there as soon as possible. The only thing I can think about was telling them that I had another meeting to go to. They were a little bit pushy, but they let me go. 3 days after that, I decided to take my courage and give them a call so they don't show up at my stores anymore. I said, listen, I'm not interested, point blank, that's it, that's all. The guy replied, you're an idiot for not taking free money. I replied, there's no such thing as free money. Thankfully, I didn't hear anything from them afterwards. They probably found someone to do their stupid deal with them. But a year after that, the second guy who was at the coffee shop with us came to the store and told me that was a wise decision. Later on, I found out that these guys were mobsters. I'm not gonna give you any more details, but it was a wise decision. Anyway, moral of the story, if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. No one will give you anything unless they have leverage, unless they're getting something out of it. That was a great lesson for me, and I hope it's a good lesson for you.